The Donders Institute for Brain, Cognition and Behaviour at Radboud University Nijmegen is a leading research centre with a strong international reputation. It is a relatively young institute with an enterprising spirit and an excellent track record regarding research on brain, cognition and behaviour. Over 500 researchers work here on unravelling the mechanisms of the brain. Within the Donders Institute, Professor Dr. Pieter Dessay is responsible for the research of the Artificial Intelligence Department. He has been involved with brain-computer interface research in the Netherlands since its beginning. He led the large Dutch Brain Gain Research Consortium on applications of neuroscience, funded by SmartMix.
One very interesting topic that we are working on in the Donders Center for Cognition is brain-computer interfacing. In such a setup, a user wears electrodes on the skull and we measure the tiny signals from the brain, EEG. The computer then detects what the user is doing, and in this case, for instance, imagining movement is a good task, or selectively attending to a part of the screen. Those kinds of tasks elicit large signals and they have been well studied in neuroscience. To apply this in a home environment, for instance, to type a letter or control a wheelchair, still has some practical difficulties. The headset is too expensive, the signals are very noisy sometimes, and detection is not fast and reliable enough. And that's what we're working on in research, to make it possible to take this home and control your wheelchair or computer with it.
As director of the Donders Center of Cognition, Professor Pieter Miedendorp is confronted with the difficulties of translating research findings to products for everyday use.
We are a basic science institute, a basic science center, and we do not have the resources available to set up commercial lines of product development or to create end products. No, we cannot do that. What we believe, however, is the fact that we have research findings and we create new technologies that have the potential to be useful for society. And for that we collaborate with larger businesses and smaller companies. And in order to really stimulate that further, we need to stimulate entrepreneurial talents within our researchers in order to make a contribution in that respect. And so what we hope to gain with our valorisation agenda is not only that we make our research findings available to the public at large by setting up teaching programs to societies, etc., but also to set up and to stimulate entrepreneurial talents or set up spin-off companies of researchers to really make that contribution to society.
George Dimitriadis is a postdoc researcher at the Donders Institute, specializing in brain-computer interface, also referred to as BCI.
We received a grant from the Stichting Technische Wetenschappen. The purpose of the 2-year project was to take software we have developed in the lab and actually make it suitable for use in real life. This software aims at enabling speech-impaired patients to communicate with speed and precision, and it actually incorporates the latest brain-computer interface technologies. And now, in order to bring this to the market, we formed MindAffect, which is a Radboud spin-off company. The goal of MindAffect is to develop this software to be suitable for everyday use in ways that actually people will find both easy and natural to use, for example in the form of an app on a mobile device. Now in the near future, our developments will allow people with speech difficulties to also be able to use this software in combination with direct brain control.
MindAffect develops their software for different target groups. One of the most important target groups is people suffering from ALS, a disease that slowly makes it impossible to move and communicate. BCI and Chat by Click are a way to still allow communication for these patients. As part of the software development, MindAffect performs user tests in collaboration with patient groups and hospitals. These tests also provide input for topics of conversation.
It is important to have good content for the dialogues, so that patients and their relatives can have meaningful conversations. Patients, doctors, relatives and other caretakers have helped to write these conversations. Therefore, this software is very meaningful for patients and they are very happy with it because it goes faster and it is easier in use than the software that exists nowadays.
Commercializing a product asks a completely different set of skills than those required of researchers. Therefore, it can be very beneficial for high-tech startups to collaborate with more commercial parties. In the case of MindAffect, WeBoost, a company focusing on business development, was involved from the start.
WeBoost was asked to get involved in this project before the Spin-Off MindAffect was even founded. We performed preliminary market research to select the best route for technology to reach the market. Now we co-own the company and have a long-term commitment to make it a commercial success. By finding and launching customer projects, we create a connection between the end user and the research and development. This is important because researchers have plenty of ideas, but the clear focus for business development is sometimes missing. We give the end user a voice in this project. By this way, we know there's a demand for the products.
Valorization of research findings has become an important part of the university's tasks. The Radboud University and the Donders Institute actively stimulate this process by bringing together the right parties. Together, we make sure that basic scientific progress can be translated to new and exciting applications for society.